Let us begin with that of the method of an urine formation, which has been carried out in a Malpighian tubule as well as a tubular reabsorption and tubular secretion. So altogether it involved within three steps. First one is an ultrafiltration where it has been carried out in an Malpighian tubules, and remaining part of the nephron is carried out of a tubular reabsorption where the useful substances has been reabsorbed, whereas the waste which has been eliminated away from DCT and CT. So altogether the urine formation involved within three steps. The first one is an Malpighian tubules and tubular reabsorption and tubular secretion. So in this way it has been carried out in an entire nephron. So let us see that the function of the nephron, entire function of the nephron to produce an urine. So the urine formation is taken place in three steps, that is an glomerulus filtration is also called as an ultrafiltration, tubular reabsorption and tubular secretion. In this way it is going to be eliminated away from the urethra. So let us see regarding the first one, that is an ultrafiltration. In case of ultrafiltration, the process of an filtration is carried out in the glomerulus, blood into an lumen of an Bowman's capsule in the form of an nephric filtrate. That depends upon the nature of the capillaries and also pressure operating. So the glomerulus capillary is an highly coiled one and its wall is a very thin and tiny pores they have. As I said, they are porous, non-porous as well as an podocyte. So naturally they are having pores are a very small or a minute or a tiny, you can say. So this is due to a coiled nature of this capillaries, greater surface area which is meant for an filtration, while the pores used to be permit the passage of a smaller molecule, and naturally it used to be prevent the larger molecules like blood cells and proteins which remains as an unfiltered. Hence we can say such type is called as a mechanical filter. So as it is a concern with that of the pressure, so there are three type of pressure, as we know that the hydrostatic pressure as well as an osmotic pressure and also capsular hydrostatic pressure. Let us see one by one. So the first one, as we know that the glomerulus hydrostatic pressure is the pressure which develops in the glomerulus due to the flow of blood from an efferent, which is a wider renal arterial, to that of an narrower efferent renal arterial. The pressure itself is about 75 mmHg. As we know that this is, as it is an high, so naturally it is termed as a positive pressure, which is going to be favor for the filtration of blood. So the second one, which is a concern with that of the glomerulus osmotic pressure. Okay, this it is an high osmotic pressure which is exerted by the protein. We know that the which is a larger one which has been remained within the glomerulus, the blood cells as well as a protein. Naturally we know that the protein found in a glomerulus blood itself, and this try to draw away the water from the glomerulus filtrate. This pressure is about only 30 mmHg, hence forms the glomerular filtrate, and this pressure is called as a negative pressure which resists for the filtration of plasma. The other one is an capsular hydrostatic pressure, we can say. So it is an pressure exerted by a pre-existing nephric filtrate in an Bowman's capsule itself, and moreover we know that this prevents the entry of a fresh filtrate, and this is about less 20 mmHg, hence it is also called as an negative pressure, and it resists the filtration of plasma. So as we know that GHP, that is a glomerulus hydrostatic pressure, is 75 mmHg minus, it used to be combined with that of glomerulus osmotic pressure, along with that of plus a capsular hydrostatic pressure, the net filtration will be of 25 mmHg. We know that this GHP, naturally we know that GHP is about 75 mmHg. When it used to be combined with that of an GOP as well as an CHP, it used to be 30 plus a 20, it will be of 50. So the remaining, when we do the minus for the GHP with that of and the remaining 2, so naturally the remaining net filtration will be of 25 mmHg. So net filtrate is on this month, that depends upon the both the kidney which are held responsible for the production of a 180 liter of the urine or nephric filtrate, we can say, at the rest itself, and that filtrate at the rest which contains both useful as well as harmful substances. We know the useful substances here is water, glucose, amino acid, fatty acid, vitamin, potassium, calcium, magnesium, bicarbonate, whereas the harmful substances like ammonia, urea, uric acid. As we know that it combines the useful material as well as an harmful material, that depends upon the size of the molecule. Both it has been filtered in an ultrafiltration. Since this filtration contains both, hence the ultrafiltration is termed it as a non-selective process. As we know, it is not at all going to choose or select for the particular one. So it combines with that of an harmful as well as an useful, depends upon the size of the molecule. Hence it is called as a non-selective process. So this is concerned with that of the first one, that is Malpighian tubules, which involved with the glomerulus filtration or called as an ultrafiltration, which has been carried out in the first part of the nephron. So let us go with the next one, where it has been carried out the tubular reabsorption in the PCT, Hanley's loop, DCT as well as a CT. Only the useful substances which has been reabsorbed in the remaining part of the nephron. So let us begin with that of the second one. As we know that the second one is a concern with that of tubular reabsorption. In case of a tubular reabsorption, let us think this is an nephron, and this is an second set of blood capillary called as second set of blood capillary called as peritubular capillaries. So what is the process here? So let us see that it is the process of an absorption of substances from a nephric filtrate. The nephric filtrate enter into an peritubular capillaries. So we can say that it is an selective process. It is going to be choice of only useful substances. Here the nephric filtrate contains material useful for the body. Hence they are reabsorbed into the blood in a different region of an nephron by both active as well as a passive transportation. Let us see that in case of the first one, the substances which are present here, so naturally are absorbed totally. Only the useful one, it has been reabsorbed. Especially in case of an useful one, as we know it well, water, glucose, amino acid, fatty acid, vitamin and some of the hormones. There are more solute in the nephric filtrate, and then it has been reabsorbed. The remaining one has been lost. Similarly, the substances which has been absorbed only to certain extent, as we know that those are an harmful one, like an urea, uric acid, and some of them which has been remained as an unabsorbed, like PAHA. We know PAHA is nothing but an para amino hepatic acid and creatinine, and these are comes under the harmful one, so which has been remained as an unabsorbed here. And let us see that what happens in case of an PCT. As I said, only useful one is going to be reabsorbed. So it is going to be reabsorbed by an osmosis as well as even by an active transport. As we know that it is an PCT, proximal convoluted tubule, which is going to be reabsorbed 65% of an water by the osmosis. Majority of an part of an useful solute like an amino acid, fatty acid, salt, vitamins are reabsorbed either by an passive or maybe an active transport like an potassium, sodium, magnesium as well as an calcium. Whereas an the reabsorption of an handless loop. Let us think it this is an handless loop. Roughly we can say that it is considered as an PCT, handless loop, DCT as well as an CT. This is the part of the nephron. This is connected with a second set of blood capillary called as an peritubular. Hence, the nephric filtrate has been passed from nephric filtrate to that of an peritubular capillary. So, let us see that reabsorption of an handless loop. How it has been carried out in handless loop. So, as we know, handless loop is having an ascending as well as an descending limbs. So, in case of an descending limb of an handless, it is going to be reabsorbed only 15% of an water and reabsorbs about 15% of even salt. And also interstitial by an osmosis from the lower thin segment of the ascending limb, it is going to be reabsorbed only the urea. Okay, this is concerned with that of an by an active transpiration of an reabsorption of an some of the salt along with that of an water in the ascending as well as an descending limb. We know ascending limb they are going to be reabsorbs a sodium as well as an chloride by an active transport. Similarly, we know the next one that is a concern with that of an DCT. In case of a DCT, that is a distal convoluted tubule, only remaining 5% of an water has been reabsorbed with that of an interstitial under the influences of two hormones. We know the name of the two hormones, antidiuretic hormone as well as an aldosterone hormone, which are present in an DCT as well as an CT. So excessive water which has been reabsorbed by an ADH hormone, whereas an excessive salt has been reabsorbed by means of aldosterone. Those are present only in DCT as well as an CT. Last is concerned with that of an CT. So the absorption of an useful substances in CT is an about remaining part of an 14.5% of an water has been reabsorbed into the interstitial under the influences of a ADH, even remaining part of an sodium ions reabsorbed under the hormone called as an aldosterone. Even we can say the remaining part of an urea is also reabsorbed in case of CT. So water as well as an sodium and also urea which has been reabsorbed in the last portion of an nephron, that is a collecting tubules. This is concerned with that of an the reabsorption of an that is nothing but a tubular reabsorption we can say, or reabsorption which has been carried out remaining part of an living amalgamation in the PCT as well as an handless loop DCT as well as an collecting duct, and moreover it is going to be reabsorbed only the useful one. It has been passes the substances from a nephric filtrate to that of peritubular capillary where it has been carried out. Hence, it is going to be select the process of an only useful, so called as an selective process. Let us begin with that of the one more, that is an tubular secretion. This is an tubular secretion. As we know that, just it is a contrast to that of the tubular reabsorption. Here we can say the substances is to be moved from an nephric filtrate to that of peritubular capillary, but it is a contrast here. From an peritubular capillary, the substances has been secreted towards the nephric filtrate. The harmful one which has been secreted, it has been passed to that of nephric filtrate. Let us see that definition for it. It is the process of an secretion of an substances from an peritubular capillary, which is the second set of an blood capillary, into an nephric filtrate. So it takes place in an DCT as well as an CT. We know in case of an distal convoluted tubule, by active as well as an passive transport, and the substances which is not filtered and naturally doesn't not required by the body, and also the substances which has been selected or secreted are like an hydrogen ions, potassium, minor nitrogenous waste like all the three, ammonia, urea, uric acid, and also creatinine, and also PAHA. PAHA is nothing but an para-amino hupparic acid, along with that of an toxic substances, even some of the drugs. Altogether, the secretion is going to be released about 180 liter of a nephric filtrate. That nephric filtrate is going to be converted into 1.5 liter of urine. So in this way, so altogether, the entire nephron, which is involved within three steps of an urine formation. The first one is ultrafiltration, which has been carried out in Malpighian tubules. Remaining part of the nephron, that is PCT, Handley's loop, DCT, CT, where the tubular reabsorption has been carried out, only the useful substances has been reabsorbed. Whereas the unwanted or harmful substances which is not required by the body, and actually it is carried out only in DCT and CT, where it has been eliminated away from the body and converting a 180 liter of an nephric filtrate into an 1.5 liter of urine. In this way, it has been carried out the method of an urine formation in three ways: Malpighian tubules, ultrafiltration, remaining part of an reabsorption of a useful one, elimination of a waste, hence called as an tubular secretion. So ultrafiltration, tubular reabsorption, tubular secretion. In this way, it has been carried out the method of an urine formation in the body.